Luke, what are you doing?
I am looking at animal blood to see if it shows any signs if they might be sick.
So, how do you get animal blood?
One of our veterinary technicians draws blood with a needle, and then they bring the blood back to us in the lab, and we look at it.
So, how do you look at it?
With a microscope. This is the microscope we use, and it shines a bright light up through the blood slide, and then it magnifies it so we can look at it. I bet you can see through it actually.
Wall Street today stocks closed up with the S&P 500 ending at another all-time closing high.
Can you see it? All those are red blood cells, and these are white blood cells.
Support for NPR comes from
So I see a lot of cells there. Which ones are red and which ones are white?
The red blood cells are all these smaller ones, and there's three white blood cells in this field. There's one, that's a white blood cell, and that's a white blood cell.
And so what does a red blood cell and a white blood cell do?
Red blood cells carry oxygen in the animal, and the white blood cells help fight disease in the animal.
What do you want to know?
Hey Megan, what are you doing?
Right now I'm just accepting the chemistry results as they come off the chemistry machine here.
What does a chemistry machine do?
It analyzes the blood from the dogs and the cats, and it has all different parts of the blood, glucose and cholesterol, and it takes those and puts the patient with it and puts it in here, spins it around, and it reads a light through it, and they all come out in different colors. Yeah, the colors, and it tells how much is in each sample. It's pretty cool.
So when people bring their animals into the animal hospital and someone takes them out back, what happens to the animals?
We take them back and we examine them. The technicians will get a temperature on them and feel their pulse, which is their heart rate, and their respiratory rate, and just kind of look them over and make sure that they're okay to either stay in the back until the doctor can look at them or go up front with their owners. And then the owner will, the veterinarian will look at them and trying to figure out what the problem is, just based on what they look like when they come in, and their heart rate, and how they're breathing, and then somebody will talk to the owner and find out what the pet's been doing at home, how have they been acting, if they've been sick, so if their stomach's been upset and they've kind of been vomiting, or if they've been having to go outside, go to the bathroom a lot, or if something a little worse has happened, if they had an accident outside. And then the doctors will take all that information and their exam of the pet, and they will then determine what they need to do next, what tests they have to run, whether they need to take blood from the patient or take x-rays, which are pictures, to try and figure out what the problem is. And then they hopefully can determine what the problem is and let the owner know, and then treat the pet and hopefully send them home. So we had a goldfish come in one day that the owner was cleaning the tank, and the goldfish somehow fell out of the tank, or the owner dropped the tank, and he hurt his eyeball. And so he came into the emergency hospital, and the doctors looked at him, and the eye specialist determined that we needed to just kind of remove the eye. So what we did was I kind of scooped the little fish up and against the, very carefully scooped him up out of the water, and in about 2 seconds the doctor just snipped the eye off with a pair of scissors, and then the fish went off swimming and he was happy.
She must just want to talk to you.
Yeah, she can take this.
Thank you, Christina. It's Patty Patty.
Who's that?
That's Patty.
It's Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hello, Patty. How are ya?
Patty. She was rescued when she was a puppy from animal control.
Pancakes. Have you not met her?
I don't think I've ever met Patty. Hi, Patty. Okay,
Harriet.
go ahead. What's Aria's story?
She came in on emergency. I'm trying to think now. Oh, she didn't have an owner. She came in through like a Irondequoit animal control. So she was picked up. And she had a broken pelvis and a broken leg. And so one of the technicians here adopted her. And one of the surgeons fixed her up, and she's all good. Hi, Aria. Hi, baby. Oh, she's a good girl. Yes, she is. Yes, she is a good girl. She's very shy, but she's all good now. So she's got a good home.
So what do you have?
These are culture plates. So this, if a dog had an ear infection, we would swab the plate, and then we would incubate it at 37 degrees, so body temperature. And then the next morning, we will look at it and see if there's any bacteria growing. So this is an E. coli in a dog's ear. And this is a staph bacteria in a dog's ear.
So then what happens now that you've found that there's E. coli, which is a bacteria and is not good for a dog's ear, what happens to the dog now?
So then next, after we throw out the bacteria, we would mix it up with a little bit of saline, which is salt water, spread it out on one of these plates, and then we put little discs on top of it with different antibiotics, and then we incubate it again for another day. And then in the morning, we look at the different antibiotics to see if they will kill off the bacteria. So this one, which is tetracycline, would not work to kill off the bacteria because you can see that the bacteria grew nicely all the way underneath it. This one right here, which is a Keflex, an antibiotic, this would work well to kill off the bacteria because it has a nice clear zone around it. So the veterinarian would look at these results and put the dog on the proper antibiotic to kill the bacteria.
You can see the arrow good.
What's that?
And then you want to point out those other two?
Sure. Dead heartworm. Dead heartworm. Live heartworm after 3 weeks.
That's